नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna Nitai Gaur Sundar Jaya, Nitai Gaur Sundar Jaya Gaura Hari. Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar Jaya, Nitai Gaur Sundar Jaya, Nitai Gaur Sundar Jaya Gaura Hari. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल।
So we welcome all the devotees here today. So I know few devotees are coming here first time, even though they have been coming to the program, but they are coming here first time. Okay. So Kaushalya Mataji coming first time to our home. Welcome Mataji. Shravani Mataji, right? Shravani Mataji is coming first time to the program. She just recently moved here for her job. So welcome. And if you want, you can come here on this side. So no, Mataji. Okay. And I know Anita Mataji is coming first time along with Kori Nandan. Okay, so welcome everyone. So, as you know, we have been talking about Srimad Bhagavatam on our weekend programs. So we'll be discussing the next part of Srimad Bhagavatam, which we are discussing from the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And even though some of you may not have the connectivity before, but I promise you will understand. We'll discuss a little bit recap, and I'm sure you will be able to understand the connection and the topic which is going on. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinim Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavedanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurahatshe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So once again we welcome you all here for our Saturday afternoon program. So as most of you know, we have talked about the importance of Srimad Bhagavatam. The last few sessions we had talked about why Srimad Bhagavatam is so important, the benefits of hearing and reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Anybody still remembers some of the key benefits which we talked about of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam on a regular basis? Because see, the prayers which we recite before we start reading or talking about Srimad Bhagavatam, Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udhirayet nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So what this prayer means: Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. When we constantly, on a regular basis, on a everyday basis, nityam means every day, nityam bhagavata sevaya. When we serve Srimad Bhagavatam every day, means reading, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and also it means Bhagavat means person Bhagavat, the exalted devotees. When we serve the exalted devotees, so nityam bhagavat sevaya nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. Whatever are the abhadra in our heart, whatever are the negativity in our heart, those negative tendencies in the heart, the anarthas in the heart, what happened to them? They are all removed. And what happens after that? Bhagavate uttama shloke. Uttama shloka. Lord Krishna is referred as Uttama Shloka, who is glorified with the wonderful prayers, wonderful shlokas. Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. The bhakti is established in our heart to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So first effect is it removes all the negative effects from the heart, the anarthas from the heart. And then it establishes the bhakti towards the Supreme Lord in our heart. So that's what we want, right? That's what the purpose. Hopefully everybody is coming to the program for this purpose. There's no other agenda. Or is there any other agenda for attending satsang program or coming to our weekly program? Everybody should have the same goal. We want to remove the impurities from our heart, and we want to develop love for the Supreme Lord. We want to develop bhakti towards the Supreme Lord. So for that purpose, Srimad Bhagavatam is very, very important. If we consider actually Srimad Bhagavatam is the most important project of Srila Prabhupada. The Prabhupada gave us all these scriptures. Right? Prabhupada gave us Bhagavad Gita, he gave us Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada wrote more than 80 books. And among all these different projects which Prabhupada did, he established temples, he established devotee communities, farm communities. Among all that, if we consider, Srimad Bhagavatam is the most important project. You know why? Anybody knows why?
Because there are no results expected out of this scripture. Any other Vedic scripture is done with some purpose, or to get some benediction. But here, the intention of this scripture, which is the ripened fruit, right, which is the culmination of all the Vedas, is to just to it just takes us nearer to the Krishna, nearer to Krishna.
So Rajendra Prabhu is saying the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam is to develop devotional service, bhakti. There is no other purpose. All other Vedic literature, if we see all other scriptures, there are many other karma-kandic activities mentioned, right? Some ritualistic process are mentioned, which is to gain some material benefit. You do this puja, you can get this benefit. You do this ritual, you can get this benefit. But the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam is to establish pure bhakti. But for Srila Prabhupada, why this Srimad Bhagavatam we can consider as the most important project of Srila Prabhupada? Because Prabhupada actually, he worked on Srimad Bhagavatam from the very first day till the very last day. Prabhupada, when he took sannyas, he went to Vrindavan. He was staying in Radha Damodar temple. And there he started writing the commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. Right, at the age of 63, Prabhupada took sannyas. He went to Vrindavan. For 6-7 years, he stayed there in Vrindavan. And he started writing the commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. And he was preparing for his travel to the West world to deliver the people, to deliver this knowledge of Vedic scripture to the Western world. So, from the very first day, he started working on Srimad Bhagavatam until the very last day. Till he was here on this planet, he was working on Srimad Bhagavatam. If you hear, on even the last day when Prabhupada is about to leave his material body, still he is narrating on Srimad Bhagavatam. Still he is instructing about Srimad Bhagavatam. So from very first day to very last day, that was the most important project for Srila Prabhupada. See, Prabhupada was living in Vrindavan. At the middle of the night, like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock at night, he will hear the sounds of peacock, right, in Vrindavan, the forest groves of Vrindavan. And he will be hearing the sounds of great exalted personalities, like he will, as if they are still present, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. So he will be hearing their voices. And then Prabhupada left Vrindavan and came to America. Where in America? New York, Bowery area. At the middle of night in Bowery area, what are the sounds he is hearing? 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, there are police sirens. There are drunkard people, hippies, they are yelling and shouting and stealing and running away here and there. So he will be hearing these sounds. So Prabhupada, from the middle of spiritual world, he came in the middle of material world. Why? He could have stayed in Vrindavan very nicely, right? He could have stayed and focused on his service and his sadhana. But why Srila Prabhupada came to this middle of material world? Yes, to fulfill the instructions of his guru. But even more so, to show that compassion to the fallen living entities, to deliver this message of the Supreme Lord, to bring them closer to the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada has done so much. He has dedicated the most wonderful hours of his life in composing these scriptures, in writing the commentaries on these scriptures. So it's our responsibility to carefully study these scriptures. See, again, I don't use the word read, that read these books. There is a big difference in reading versus studying. So carefully studying these scriptures. How many of you have Srimad Bhagavatam at home? Not Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita is one book, right? We know Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavatam. But Prabhupada has written the commentaries. So there are, how many books there? Who has the set of Srimad Bhagavatam? How many books are there in the set of Bhagavatam? 18 books. Right, the newer edition of Srimad Bhagavatam set which we distribute now. So there are 18 books. There are 12 Puranas and there are 12 cantos, and out of those 12 cantos, some cantos are 1 volume, 2 volume, multiple volumes because of the content of that canto. So there are total 18 books. And if you read 1 shloka a day, there are 18,000 shlokas. If you read 1 shloka along with their translation and commentary of Srila Prabhupada, how long will it take to finish Srimad Bhagavatam study? But devotee said, Prabhupada, but you are the heart of ISKCON. Actually, Prabhupada said, this is the heart of ISKCON. Right? Prabhupada picked up one book and said, this is the heart of ISKCON. One devotee said, but Prabhupada, you are the heart of ISKCON. Prabhupada said, yes, but this is my heart. So these books are heart of Prabhupada. And if we want to please Prabhupada, what we are supposed to do? Read those books, study those books, and distribute to others also. Right? Give those books to others. So how many of you do not have Srimad Bhagavatam set at home? Please raise your hand. So 1 family, 2 family, 3 family, 4, 5, 6. You have maybe particular book of Bhagavatam, not the proper set of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So my request to all of you, desire to get Srimad Bhagavatam set at your home. Because Bhagavatam in one sense is also non-different from Krishna. So it's like a physical form of Krishna. So establishing Bhagavatam at home means you're establishing Krishna at your home. And then what to speak of picking it and reading it, right? So just having Srimad Bhagavatam at home, that is very significant. So please desire to acquire Srimad Bhagavatam set. I can get you the exact price of what is the cost of the Bhagavatam set. It's maybe around the cost of $300 or something, which is not big deal basically. For any of us living here, $300 investing in Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing. If we go on a vacation, 1 night room charges or 2 night room charges, you spend that much money. But here, Srimad Bhagavatam set, if you invest that $300 in Srimad Bhagavatam, that is your lifelong. The Sukriti, the Punya Karma you are getting, the bank balance, having that Srimad Bhagavatam set at your home and then reading it. So, we have been discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. We are into 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and the specific section which we are talking about is the section of Kardama Muni. Svayambhu Manu and Kardama Muni. So, whoever attended the last session, which was about 2 weeks before, right? Last week we did not have. And we talked about Kardama Muni's austerities to please the Supreme Lord. And Kardama Muni, when Lord appears in front of him, face to face, Kardama Muni have darshan of the Supreme Lord. And then after offering the prayers, Kardama Muni asked for the benediction. And what was the benediction Kardama Muni asked? Please. What was the benediction? I want to marry a suitable girl of equal disposition. I want to marry a suitable girl of equal disposition. What does that mean? That I am expert in Ashtanga Yoga process, who is also expert in Ashtanga Yoga process. I am able to absorb my mind on you, so she should also be able to absorb her mind on you. So a girl of equal disposition. And also one more statement which Kardama Muni says, that who is able to beget a son, none other than the Supreme Lord in her womb. So Lord was pleased with the prayers of Kardama Muni and he blessed that arrangement has been already done for you. Soon Svayambhu Manu will arrive here and he will offer his daughter Devahuti to you in marriage. So after that Lord disappears and then Svayambhu Manu along with his wife Satarupa and daughter Devahuti, he arrives there. And as Svayambhu Manu arrives there, Kardama Muni, he offers words of glorification to Svayambhu Manu. Kardama Muni glorifies Svayambhu Manu that you are a great ruler, you are a king. And because it's a duty of the king to protect the country, protect the citizen, and the king protect the citizen from all the rogues and thieves. If the king is not managing everything nicely, the country will be filled with all the rogues and it will be very difficult for everybody to live peacefully and perform their duties. So you are doing wonderful service. So this is how the previous chapter ended. So Canto 3, chapter 21. Now we are moving into chapter 22. So after Kardama Muni offered the glorification to Svayambhu Manu, and after Kardama Muni paused, Svayambhu Manu actually, he was very shy hearing his glorification. He was feeling a little uncomfortable. Why? Because it's natural for somebody, basically, when somebody glorifies a sober person, right? They don't want to hear their own glorification. So Svayambhu Manu, he felt little uncomfortable with that, and he spoke to Kardama Muni with very much humility and embarrassment, actually. So this chapter, overall, we will divide it into 5 sections. Okay, to understand the content of this chapter. So first is Kardama Muni. After he becomes silent, Svayambhu Manu speaks back and in return glorifies Kardama Muni. So the talks of Kardama Muni, talk of Svayambhu Manu to Kardama Muni. Then the second section is Kardama Muni, Svayambhu Manu, he offers his daughter Devahuti to Kardama Muni and gives various reasons why you should accept her. Then the third section is Kardama Muni accepts Devahuti with one condition. He accepts also, but gives one condition also. And then the fourth section is the marriage of Kardama and Devahuti. Svayambhu Manu, after performing their marriage, they leave from the ashram of Kardama Muni. And then the fifth section is Svayambhu Manu returned back to his kingdom, his city, Brahishmati. The description of the city and the kind of activities Svayambhu Manu performs, his great rule. So these are the 5 sections of this chapter. So the first section is Kardama Muni, after he becomes silent, Svayambhu Manu starts speaking to Kardama Muni. He is very shy, he is feeling very modest, very humbled, and at the same time embarrassed also that Kardama Muni, being such a great sage, he is glorifying me. Because Kardama Muni was glorifying that because of you, all the sages, all the brahmanas, they are able to live peacefully, are able to perform their activities. So at that time, Svayambhu Manu starts speaking back to Kardama Muni. So one very important lesson which we should learn actually from the behavior of Svayambhu Manu, when somebody glorifies us, how we should react. Generally, what happens if somebody praises us, somebody glorifies us? What happens?
Proud. We'll feel proud.
We'll feel proud.
Very happy.
We'll be very happy. Yes, anybody else?
And expecting more glorification.
More glorification. Keep on saying, keep on saying. Finally, somebody understood my glory. Right? So, yes, these are all journal typical behavior of somebody. When somebody praises us, somebody glorifies us, at heart we feel very happy. Oh, somebody is glorifying me, finally they have understood about me. Externally we may say, no, Prabhuji, I am not like this, I am nothing, I am nobody, I am very insignificant. But in the heart, I'm thinking, keep on going, don't stop. Right? Keep going on. So, one more point is externally somebody may say, no, I am very foolish person, I don't know anything. I am fool number 1, I am the most fallen. Internally we think, I am the greatest. Right? I am the greatest of all. Externally we say, I am fallen. But if somebody else tell you, yes, Prabhu, I agree with you, you are very fallen. You are the most fallen person. If somebody else tell us this thing, then what will be our reaction? How dare you tell like this, that I am the most fallen? Externally we say that no, no, Prabhuji, I am not this or that, I am a very fallen person, I am very insignificant. But if somebody else tells, then we feel very offended. So this is all external humility, fake humility which we try to show. But here Svayambhu Manu, what he tells back to Kardama Muni is actually, whatever you are telling about me, I have taken it as a lesson that how a king should behave. That you have told me about the duty of a king, that these are the duty of a king, this is what the king is supposed to do. So I will try to do this duty. So what we learn from this is when somebody praises us, somebody glorifies us, Prabhuji, you are very good at this thing or that thing, or you are very humble, what we should say? I don't have all of these qualities, but please pray for me that one day I may acquire these qualities. So that is the right attitude. Please pray for me that one day I can acquire these qualities. So Svayambhu Manu is telling, you have told me about the duties of the king. I will try to perform these duties. Actually, so because Kardama Muni had praised Svayambhu Manu that you are Kshatriya, and because of you everybody is protected, all the Brahmanas are able to perform this duty. So Svayambhu Manu, he tells that actually the Brahmanas, they are like the head of the Supreme Lord. And Kshatriyas are like his arms. Right? So, but it does not mean that Kshatriyas, because they are protecting others, that they are more important, or Brahmanas, because they are head of the body, they are more important. Everybody has their role to play. Everybody is equally important. See, in the history, 1,000 years back, what has happened is, when the Brahmanas started considering themselves as superior, right, that we are superior, we are the gateway to the Supreme Lord. Everybody, if they want to approach the Supreme Lord, they have to go through us. So they started little monopoly, and that's where this upper caste, lower caste thing, all these started coming up, which caused so much problem in the society. But if in reality, if we really see, everybody is equally important. Either it's the head of the body, or the arms, or the legs, or the feet of the body. If somebody is very intelligent, but he doesn't have any hand or legs, is he complete? Just being intelligent, but you have bodily deformity, right? You don't have your hands or legs, you are incomplete. Somebody may be very handsome, very beautiful, their face is very beautiful, but they don't have legs. It's incomplete. So all the body limbs are equally important. So same way, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishya, Shudra, all are important. People started taking this thing, oh, we are the head of the Supreme Lord's body, Brahmanas. Oh, we are the arms of the Supreme Lord's body, we are Kshatriyas, we are important. So in that way, the people who are the service class, who are serving others, they are known as Shudras. And they started making them feel that you are of no value, you are useless people, you are to serve others. Yes, they are serving others by their nature, but it's not that they are not important. Everybody is equally important. Because of everybody's cooperation, the society runs. And if we consider actually when we pay obeisances to the Supreme Lord, what part of the body of Supreme Lord you hold? When we say pay obeisances to the Supreme Lord, what do we say? Catch hold on to the lotus feet of the Lord. And feet represent what? Shudra. So they are most important in that way. You are holding on to the feet of the Lord. So here, Svayambhu Manu, coming back to the point, Svayambhu Manu, what is he saying? That Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, both are important. The Supreme Lord created the Brahmanas and he created the Kshatriyas to protect each other, and Lord protect them through each other. Brahmanas protect Kshatriyas, Vaishya, Shudras by giving guidance, and Kshatriyas protect the Brahmanas and other class by their physical strength. So both Kshatriyas, Brahmanas, they protect each other. And Lord has created them both to protect each other. And he said, I am thankful that I met you today. Svayambhu Manu is telling Kardama, I am thankful that I met you today. And I touched my head at your lotus feet, received instructions from you. And I thank the Supreme Lord that I heard those instructions attentively. 4 things. First thing, that it's my good fortune I met you. Second thing, I paid obeisances at your feet. Third thing, I heard from you that you gave me instructions. Because Kardama Muni glorified Svayambhu Manu, but Svayambhu Manu took those as instruction. This is how I am supposed to act, to protect all my citizens, to run the rule. So third thing was that I heard your instruction, or you gave me instruction. And the fourth thing is, I heard those instructions very attentively. What do you learn from this? What can we learn from this?
Humility.
Humility, okay. In practical behavior, practical application, what do we learn from this?
Acknowledge that you have heard the qualities which I will acquire in
Okay.
future.
Acknowledge what I'm supposed to do, like hearing the instructions.
Basically, this is proper reciprocation. Like, yeah.
Proper reciprocation.
Reciprocate appropriately.
Okay. So, just practical application is how we are supposed to behave when we meet the devotees. First of all, considering it as our good fortune that we came to the association of devotees. Right? Being grateful for that. Not taking it for granted. Right? Satsang mein gaye, we met somebody, some visitor speaker came, guest speaker came, some very exalted devotee came, we met them. We should be very grateful for that. That we got the opportunity to meet the devotees. Right? Not taking it for granted. Second thing, paying obeisances. As a reciprocation with devotees, we exchange obeisances. We exchange greetings. Like when we meet devotees, we greet each other, Hare Krishna. And actually we should offer obeisances. And especially to the senior devotees, like when we go to temple. When you enter inside the temple room, what are the first thing we are supposed to do? Bow down. And not just that, okay, I will go in front of the deities and then I bow down there. First, even at the door of the temple, we should pay obeisances. That obeisances is for all the devotees there. And maybe say the prayer, Vanchah kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. That I pay my obeisances to all the assembled devotees who are like the desire fulfilling tree. They can fulfill all the desires. So paying obeisances to the devotees. Then we go in front of Prabhupada and pay our obeisances. Then we go in front of the deities and pay our obeisances to the deities. So first thing is being thankful that I met the devotees. Second thing, paying obeisances. Third thing, I'm glad that I heard instructions. Somebody gave me some instruction. Instruction could be in journal. Like when somebody is speaking in the class, those are journal instruction for everybody. And sometimes the instruction could be very personal, one-on-one also. Right? We can talk to some devotees one-on-one and we can receive some instruction in one-on-one way also. So, I am very grateful that I received instructions from you. And the fourth thing is hearing those instructions attentively. Not that we hear from one ear and goes out from other ear. We come sit in the program but our mind is somewhere else. We come sit in the program but our attention is on the phone. Oh, did I get any new message? Did I get something else? So all these, what does these show? These type of behavior? That we came here for a formality, right? Our attention really is not here. So hearing attentively. 4 things. That is from the Just with this one simple attitude or simple reciprocation of Svayambhu Manu, that's what we can learn. So after reciprocating with Kardama Muni, then Svayambhu Manu, he starts speaking that what is my purpose of coming here. So Manu says that I have come here to offer my daughter Devahuti to you in marriage. And what are the various reasons why you should accept her? First thing, her great family lineage. She is the sister of Priyavarta, Uttanapad, the great personalities. So she is the sister of these great personalities. Of course, she is the daughter of Manu and Satarupa. So they are also great personalities. But Manu did not take his own name. Or because she is my daughter, that's why you should accept her. So Manu is telling because she is the sister of Priyavrata and Uttanapad, means indirectly he's telling she belonged to a very great family. She comes from a very cultured family. Second, she is also seeking for a suitable husband for herself of right age, character and good qualities. We discussed about this point.
Maybe equal disposition for her.
Of equal disposition, yes. So she is also looking for a husband of equal disposition in age, good qualities, character. So we talked about this point in the last class. These days when some marriage arrangement happen, what do people look for?
Property and bank balance.
So one side property, bank balance or external beauty. So in Hindi I said chamadi and damadi. Right? Either external beauty, chamadi, or damadi means bank balance, how much property they have. But in Ramayana also actually very important, significant word, significant point come when Lord Ram's wedding with Sita Devi is being settled. At that time when Dasharatha Maharaj come, Vashishta Muni come. So Vashishta Muni is telling Janak Maharaj that this marriage arrangement is not because of dhana sambandha. It's because of dharma sambandha. Right? It's not that you both are equally rich. That's why this arrangement has been done. Or you also are millionaire, I am also millionaire, so let's do this marriage arrangement. So not because of dhana sambandha, it's because of dharma sambandha. Because they both, Ram and Sita, they are a good match for each other based on their qualities, based on their character. So here also same scenario. Svayambhu Manu is telling she is also looking for a equal disposed person. And then she heard about you from Narada Muni. So Narada Muni once went and told Devahuti about Kardama Muni, that he is a very great sage who is performing austerities and he is filled with all the good qualities. So he has heard about you from Narada Muni, and since she heard about you from Narada, she has fixed her mind on you. So another very important lesson here. So she did not hear about how beautiful Kardama Muni is. Actually, Kardama Muni is living in a forest, performing austerities. He has long beard, all this thing, matted hair. So it's not that she is attracted by external appearance, but she is attracted by the good character of Kardama Muni. So she fixed her mind. So importance of hearing from advanced people. So one very important lesson from this whole incident is importance of hearing from advanced people, respecting the elders and respecting their opinion, their viewpoint. By these days, we see people don't want to hear from their elders, from their superiors, from their seniors. They think they are from the old age or they are from the backward class. We are into the modern world. Now the technology has changed, everything has changed. They do not know all this new technology, all this thing, what happens in this world, how the things work. So we don't want to hear, we don't want to follow their opinion, their experience. But it's not about just following or knowing some technology. The one point may come earlier, respect to the elders was because of their experience. And experience could be because they know more than me. But nowadays, it's all about new gadgets, new technology which keep changing. So we may know more compared to the older person. Right? They may not know all this new technology and new things. So we may know more than them. So how do we offer respect to them then? Earlier respect was because they know more. Now we may think I know more. Right? I know the latest technology and all that. So how to offer respect to the elders? For what reason to offer respect to the elders? See, it's not about technology or the latest stuff. Even in our offices, a younger person may know more than us. Right? Somebody who came new, young blood, they know the latest technology, latest programming script or whatever it is. So how that person is going to show respect to some other senior person who may not know all these new things? But the point we should understand is it's not about the new technology. Technology can be learned, right? Skill can be gained. But experiences, they come with
time, age.
they come with the time and age, and we cannot replace that experience. What they have experienced in the life, what situations they've handled practically, we need to value for that. So that's why respecting the elders, maintaining the association with seniors is very important. And at the same time, there is one other aspect which we should keep in mind. When we associate with seniors, right, it applies in our spiritual gathering also. It applies in material gatherings also, very well, or more than that, it applies in our spiritual gatherings. When we associate with our seniors, one thing we should keep in mind is we need to maintain that decency, that respect, or that distance also sometime. Because otherwise what happens is, with too much familiarity comes
Content.
familiarity breeds contempt. Right? When we know somebody too much, when we get too close to somebody, then we start seeing that person as ordinary person. Then we start seeing that person that, oh, he's also like me only, now I am also same. So that breeds contempt. So that's why the sannyasis also, right? They don't get too close to other person, or they don't stay openly with everybody, because for their own benefit. So they don't start considering as a normal thing or start doing any mental or verbal offenses. So just consider this practical scenario. If you meet somebody once in few days, or once a month, or once a year, then you maintain that the deep respect or that value their time. For example, you go to meet your Guru Maharaj, and you are going after 1 year to meet him, and you have to travel 5-6 hours to go meet him, and on the way you are thinking, yes, I'm going to meet my Guru, and I'm going to say these things to him, I'm going to share these personal things with him. So you have that deep respect, that deep feeling with him. And then you go there, maybe there are 5-7 other people sitting outside the room, you have to wait for a few hours. But still you are very excited, you are very ecstatic that I have got this opportunity to meet him after such a long time. But now another scenario, you start living there itself. Now you have the opportunity to meet him, see him every day. So you can meet him anytime. What happens after some time? then you start taking it for granted. You start taking it casually. What's the big deal? I can see him anytime. I can meet him any day. So we don't feel that same bhava, that same mood, same emotion if it gets too much closeness. So maintaining that deep affection, deep relation, it requires some time that we need to have that decency in relationship. So here, yes, we should regularly associate with devotees, but at the same time, we should be very careful to not get affected by this familiarity breeds contempt. So one thing is familiarity breeds contempt. There is another statement also. Familiarity breeds boredom. When you are living with same person for a long time, you get bored of that person. Happens? Have you heard this statement?
Yes.
Yes? Familiarity breeds boredom. Prasad Prabhu is laughing or smiling. So somewhere we all may have that experience. Right? With whom you are too close, we get bored of that person, then you want to experience some new things. So here, the lesson from here is, we were talking about Devahuti heard about Kardama Muni from Narada, and just hearing from him, she fixed her mind on Kardama. Because she heard the opinion of Narada Muni. She heard the opinion of a superior person. And now, so who is telling this? Svayambhu Manu is telling this to Kardama. Various reasons why he should accept Devahuti. Because she belongs to a great family, because she is also looking for a equally disposed person, and then she heard about you from Narada. It's not that they went to same college, they went to canteen and sitting there and spending time together and get to know each other. Not like that. Because, see, one thing I will tell you, what happened in all these relationships, this is a relationship mantra. People who get into these love relationships, love affairs, live-in relationships and all that, what happened these days is, when we meet somebody, occasionally like this, every person is trying to show their best. Right? When you go to meet somebody, you want to show your best. That person is trying to show his or her best. So you see only that good part. But then when they start living together, right? Once they get into the relation, first it's everything goody-goody. Because they are showing their best. But when they start living together, then they are staying there, spending too much time, seeing in and out of that person. Now they are getting to know each and everything about that person. What was earlier not known to them. And then what happens? Then they think, oh, I don't think this person is suitable for me. And then it ends up with breakups, divorces, to the extent of committing suicides also, Mate said. So these happen, right? We see the divorce rate is skyrocketing. What is the divorce rate in these days? You know, the latest statistics, 80%. And up to 50% happen within first 6 months. Why? Because people are externally attracted with external things. They meet in cafeterias or coffee shops or restaurants and all, and everybody puts on their best clothes, nice outfits and all. They show their best image. And later on, when we start living with the person, then we understand all their nature and everything. So that's why, to know about that person from somebody who is superior, taking their opinion, who knows about that person, is always a good idea. Earlier, marriages were not happening, just one family went and talked to another family. There was always a mediator in between. Right? Jisko bolte bichola. They will always have a third person in between as a mediator, who knows both families together, and he will tell them about them. So, moving on. So he says that she will be a suitable wife for you in every way for her duties in her household life. That you should not think that she belongs to a royal family she is the daughter of a king. And Kardama Muni is a ascetic person, right? He is living in a hermit. And Kardama Muni may think, how will she adjust here? She is used to of getting her chores done through maid servants. उनके तो बहुत सारे नौकर चाकर रहते हैं काम करने के लिए. But here, there will be nobody to help. There are no maid servants. She has to do all the work. So Svayambhu Muni is telling indirectly that do not have any doubts. She will be a perfect wife for you, taking care of all her household responsibilities. So she will be a good wife for you. And then he tells to deny an offering that comes by itself is not commendable, even for a detached person. What to speak of a person who desires for that object? Because I also know that you are desiring to marry. Now, रिश्ता अपने आप चलकर आ रहा है, right? So a suitable match is coming to you. So you should not deny that proposal. Because somebody who denied that and then later on he goes himself and begs for that, then that person is doomed. That person is a miser who destroys the name and fame, name and honor. So that's another reason that you should accept her, because you are also desiring to marry, and now I am coming by my own accord to offer my daughter. And also you have not taken a vow of a perpetual celibacy. You also have decided to get married. It's not that you are planning to be celibate permanently. Naishtik brahmachari. Ultimately you also want to get married. So there is no issue with that. So you should accept my daughter in marriage. So that was what Manu offers. Second part of the chapter. Now third part of the chapter is where Kardama Muni, he accepts the offering of Svayambhu Manu and tells his reasoning. Ultimately he gives his condition. On what condition I will marry Devahuti. You want to hear that? We give many conditions. These days people give many conditions. Why I will accept this relation. What are the conditions people give these days? आजकल लोग क्या शर्तें रखते हैं?
My daughter should have all the comforts in life.
No. It's not the condition from the father,
Okay.
girl's father.
Okay.
Condition from the boy's side.
Okay.
What kind of conditions boy's side family puts forward?
Don't go too many times to have a family.
Okay, मायके इतनी बार नहीं जाना है. Okay, maybe Prabhu put that condition. Okay, so he is saying that she should not just run to her father, right, every few weeks or something. Okay, what other conditions generally people put?
Don't question too much.
Don't question too much, okay, just abide by the orders of the husband, okay.
Don't laugh loudly.
Don't laugh loudly. Okay, so all these conditions, they're okay, but biggest condition is dowry, right? If you have to give me this much, एक refrigerator, एक fridge, एक cooler, एक TV, 72-inch TV, or a big luxury car, or this much gold, or this much, that much, then I will accept. So that is the condition generally people put. Here, let's hear what Kardama Muni says. Kardama Muni says, I accept Devahuti for the following reasons. Okay, why I am accepting Devahuti? So first thing he says, certainly I also have desire to marry, and your daughter has not yet given her word to anybody else. So it's not that she has somebody else in her mind, or she has given her word to somebody. I am also desiring to marry, and she is also desiring to marry, so our marriage according to the Vedic system can take place. So that is one reason I accept her. Second thing, because she has a desire to marry me, and recognizing based on the Vedic scripture, her desire should be fulfilled. Who else would reject? Actually, who would reject her? She is so beautiful. What is her real beauty actually? It's not that externally she is beautiful. That's why he's saying that she is very beautiful. But he's saying that she is the ornament of womanhood. And the quality of a woman, the real ornament of a woman is her shyness. That she maintains that ornament. So she is, because she is the ornament of womanhood and she also has a desire to marry me, so I accept her. And she is so beautiful that even Vishwavasu, one of the demigods, right, among the 8 Vasus, Vishwavasu, once one of the Gandharva actually, so he was stunned by her beauty. Once Devahuti was on her rooftop, on the terrace, and this Vishwavasu happened to pass by from there in his plane. Okay? So this Gandharva, he was going by that area in his plane, and he happened to see Devahuti on the terrace. And he was so much attracted by her beauty that he was about to fall off from his plane. He lost control. So she is so beautiful that even the demigods, even the Gandharvas, they are attracted to her beauty. And she is the ornament of womanhood. What wise man should not welcome her? But there is one condition for me to accept her. And anybody has heard the pastime of Kardama Muni earlier? Have heard about Kardama Muni and Devahuti earlier? No? So Kardama Muni says, yes, I will marry her, but there is one condition. And that condition is, I will stay at the home only for that much time when she give birth to a son. As soon as she give birth to a son, or when she gives birth to a son, then I will leave home and I will go and perform my other responsibility, which is to fully dedicate towards the Supreme Lord. So basically I am going to take sannyas and leave the home once she give birth to a son. So that is my condition. If you accept that condition, then I'm ready to marry her. बाद में ये मत बोलना कि तुम घर पे छोड़ के कैसे जा रहे हो, उसको अकेला छोड़ के कैसे जा सकते हो. So this is my first condition, first and last condition. As soon as she give birth to a son, I'm going to leave. But then the point may come, but Brahma told you to get married and fill the world with progeny. Right? That is the purpose of you to get married, that you should produce children. Now you are saying as soon as the son is born, I'm going to leave. But then Kardama Muni said, for me, the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, he is the topmost authority. So I'm going to follow his order. I'm going to get into this marriage relationship for only that time. Because the purpose is to bring the Supreme Lord as a son. And when he appears, then I'm going to leave. And still the question may come, Supreme Lord may going to come into your home as a son and you want to leave, search for the Supreme Lord somewhere outside, taking sannyas, not stay at home. So here actually there are many different understanding we need to understand from this. Kardama Muni, he was living in a hermitage performing celibacy. He was as a brahmachari, and although he had desire to marry, he did not want to become a householder for the whole span of his life. Okay, he wanted to enter into the household life only for as long as to bring the Supreme Lord as his son in this world. He did not want to get for too long into the household life, because he was very conversant with the Vedic principles of human life. According to Vedic principle, the first part of the life should be utilized for gaining knowledge, brahmacharya. Second part of the life should be utilized as a householder life, grihastha. And then the later part of the life should be developed in cultivating the character and spiritual qualities, like taking vanaprastha and sannyas. So, one may enter into the householder life, one may accept a wife, one may beget children, but one should not beget children like cats and dogs, who can produce children in wholesale, dozen at a time. So one should not engage in householder life for just that purpose. The purpose is to beget a child, to train that child into Krishna consciousness. So there are two kind of children born of a good father mother. Okay, one who is educated in Krishna consciousness, who is trained in Krishna consciousness, so that he can be delivered from the clutches of Maya. So basically bringing a soul into our life, right, as our children, and training that to become Krishna conscious. So they don't have to enter again into the womb of a mother. So delivering them from this circle of birth and death. So that is one purpose of begetting a child. And second, so that is one type of child who is trained in Krishna consciousness. And the another one is who is a ray of Vishnu, who is the Ansha of the Supreme Lord, who comes into this world for a particular purpose. So Kardama Muni, he wanted to bring the Supreme Lord as his child for that purpose, to deliver the knowledge in this world. So as a ray of Vishnu. That was, he had asked for the Supreme Lord, I am looking for a girl, suitable girl, who is of equal disposition, who will be able to conceive the Supreme Lord as a child in her womb. So these are the two great personalities. Basically, these great personalities, they leave their home because they understand that even though we are entering into household life, that household life may also be binding. Sometimes we say that one should live based on their nature. Right? If somebody cannot live as a celibate, it's better to enter into the householder life and live in a following the rules and regulation in a regulated way. But still, there may be dangers. One may become too much attached with some things. So like the fire. Fire is important for cooking. But if somebody is not careful, that same fire can burn also. So one can enter into the household life, but one should be careful not to get too much entangled with that. So Kardama Muni, he did not want to enter into the household life for the whole span of life, understanding his real purpose, his real goal, which is to focus his mind on the Supreme Lord. And the second thing is because they consider the whole family as their, or the whole universe as their family. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Right? They are not concerned about their own close family in terms of my spouse, my children, that I am concerned about them only. Because they are concerned about all the other living entities also. They want to deliver other. Because they consider the whole world as their family, so they leave the home. Maybe you have heard about Tukaram. Right? Saint Tukaram. So he was, from his family point of view, they may say, oh, he is not fulfilling his family responsibility. He is not taking care of his wife, his children properly. But for his mindset was, for him, whole world is a family. Right? He is concerned about everybody. Like that, there are many great saintly people who are concerned about everybody. They want to deliver them. Like the Sridhar Swami. The same like Kardama Muni, there was an incident of Sridhar Swami. Sridhar Swami also, he desired to leave the home as soon as a child was born. So as soon as son was born, Sridhar Swami, he had already told his wife, what is my intention? That I want to take sannyas. So his wife said, you please stay home for as long as a child is born. So once the child is born, then you can leave. Then I will let you free. I will not hold you. So Sridhar Swami accepted. He stayed in the household life with this condition: when child is born, then I will leave. So now what happened? When the son was born, the day the child is born, the mother died. So Sridhar Swami's wife died after giving birth to the child. Now Sridhar Swami, he had already packed his bag. Today child is going to be born and I'm going to leave, take sannyas. Now wife is dead, there is a little child there. Who will take care of him if I leave? So while he was just standing there in this dilemma, in this confusion, what he saw? He saw one, that lizard, a lizard on the wall. She also had given birth to a small lizard baby. Now this small lizard is just born, and in few seconds, one fly came there. And this baby lizard stuck out the tongue and catch that fly and ate it. And Sridhar Swami, seeing that, he just got this realization that Lord has made arrangement for everybody. Okay. He has made arrangement for everybody that how they are going to sustain themselves. So Sridhar Swami immediately decided to leave, that this child, Lord has made arrangement for him to take care. So Sridhar Swami immediately left, and soon after one Brahmana came there. He heard the voice of that child, a child crying inside. He went inside, nobody is there. So he took care of that child. He took that child and took the child with him. So what point we were connecting here, the great saintly people, they are concerned about the welfare of the whole world, not just for their immediate family. They are not concerned about, oh, he's my son, my spouse or something. So here Kardama Muni also gave this condition, I am going to leave immediately when the son is born. And what was the reaction of Kardama Muni? Not Kardama, Svayambhu Manu. What was the reaction of Svayambhu Manu hearing this condition? Svayambhu Manu accepted that proposal, because for a girl is supposed to stay always under protection of somebody. And earlier she stays under the protection of father, then she stays under the protection of her husband, and later she stays in the protection of son. So Svayambhu, knowing the intention of Kardama Muni, he agreed to the proposal. So after speaking to Svayambhu Manu, Kardama Muni became silent. He is meditating on the Supreme Lord. His face, his peaceful face, captured the mind of Devahuti. So, understanding the desire of Satarupa and Devahuti, that they also agreeing with all these things, so Svayambhu Manu gladly accepted everything, and he offered his daughter to Kardama Muni. He made the marriage ceremony. Now, another important lesson. When we have any marriage ceremony, how do we perform the marriage ceremonies? Lavishly, making all the arrangements like big palace or something, some big hall, all these fancy thing, 50 preparations, chappan bhog for other people to eat, not for us, for other people to eat. And make all these nice fancy arrangements, decoration, for all, basically the purpose is to show to the world, I have so much, I'm making such a grand arrangement for my son's marriage, my daughter's marriage. So the people spend crores of rupee. Right, the destination weddings. The latest trend is destination weddings. We will go to Hawaii or some other place, and that's where we are going to perform the marriage ceremony. We'll invite all the relatives there, all our friends there. To spend so much money in that. Now in case of Svayambhu Manu, what did he do? Did he make arrangement like that, that we are going to plan some destination wedding? He is a king. He has everything. But he did not bother to invite all the relatives or friends or his citizens or his ministers or anything. Right then and there, he performed the marriage ceremony for Devahuti and Kardama. In the hermit of Kardama Muni, immediately just these 4 people, they performed the marriage ceremony of Devahuti and Kardama. And of course, from his side, Svayambhu Manu and Satarupa, they offered many gifts to Devahuti and Kardama for their householder life to go smoothly. So nowadays the friend of this dowry and giving all these opulences and all, and it puts pressure on sometimes the poor people, right? Everybody is expected to do something. So earlier it was not a dowry system, it was not as per the demand, that from the boy's side they are demanding this much, you give this much, then marriage will take place. It is by his personal ability and his personal decision, basically, how much they can offer. Nobody is pressurizing or forcing, you have to give this much. So it's their personal ability, their personal choice. As a king also, Svayambhu Manu and Satarupa, they did not give all these various things to Kardama. They just gave them some nice gifts and all for their household life to go smoothly. They did not say, okay, we are first going to make a palace for you because our daughter is the daughter of a king. She have to live peacefully, comfortably. She is going to live in the same hut with Kardama Muni. That's her next phase of life. And we'll hear in the next chapter how Devahuti served her husband Kardama Muni by undergoing all the various austerities and penance, living like the lifestyle of Kardama Muni, forgetting her previous lifestyle, what she was living as a princess. So they performed the marriage ceremony, they gave the gifts, and then Svayambhu Manu, his mind was agitated by feeling of separation, so he embraced his daughter, and tears were shedding from the eyes of Kardama Muni, from Satarupa, from the eyes of Devahuti. And then they bid farewell to Devahuti, just leaving them there. Manu and Satarupa, they returned back. So they performed the marriage ceremony and they started going back to their city. So now the next part. So Kardama Muni and Devahuti, they are just living there. It describes the lifestyle or the rule of Svayambhu Manu, how Svayambhu Manu is living. So Svayambhu Manu, he entered into his city, Brahishmati. And this city, actually the place where Varahadev had appeared, when Varahadev had appeared to bring the earth out of water, he has splashed. So once Varahadev appeared and he put the earth on its orbit in place, after that Varahadev shook his body. And all the demigods, all the sages which has assembled there, the water sprinkled on them. It was like the Charanamrit of the Lord going on everybody. And some hair from the body of Varahadev, he fell there. And from the hair of Varahadev, two type of grass grew. So it says here that two type of grass, Kusha and Kasha. Is it Kusha grass? Right? Everybody has heard the name Kusha grass. So Kusha grass, so Kusha and Kasha, these two type of grass that grew there. So still now also we use Kusha grass in some religious rituals, right? So this Kusha and Kasha grass has appeared there, and that is the place where Svayambhu Manu's rule, his kingdom is, that city of Brahishmati. So Svayambhu Manu entered his city, all the citizens, they saw their king has returned back. So they welcomed the king, and Svayambhu Manu, before he entered into the city, he sat down, laying the Kusha grass mat, sat down there and he performed the worship from the Supreme Lord. And then he entered into his kingdom, into his city. So Svayambhu Manu, he enjoyed all the opulences. As a king, he had all the opulences available. He enjoyed all these opulences, but in a very Krishna conscious way. So the lessons from all of us, what we need to learn from this, what is described here as the rule of Manu, that yes, we can also enjoy. Right? We have the facility, you have the house, you have the cars, everything is there. You can enjoy, no problem. But enjoy that in a very Krishna conscious way. We can eat nice prasadam, prepare nice prasadam, offer it to the Lord, and then enjoy that. You can enjoy nice prasadam. You can dance, you can have the music, we can have the dramas, we can have the association of devotees, we can have all these friendly, loving relationships. So we can enjoy in that way, in a very Krishna conscious way. So Manu, he was living in his palace, he was living in the kingdom, he was enjoying the opulences, but in a Krishna conscious way, he did not degrade himself. Even though he had a very long duration of life, but he absorbed in chanting the holy name. He absorbed in hearing about Krishna. He absorbed himself in talking about Krishna and remembering Krishna. So Manu was also performing these activities. It's not that we tell for people now in this Kali Yuga that you chant, you hear Krishna Katha. Manu was also doing that. He was a king living in a palace. He was also doing this. He was chanting, he was hearing Krishna Katha, remembering the Supreme Lord. But if somebody has a long duration of life and they do not have any purpose, then what is the use of that long duration of life? Right? Sometimes these days what happens, we try to add days to the life. Isn't it? Right? We try to add what we try to add. What did I just say?
Days to the life.
We try to add the days. We want to prolong our life. And we try to add years to our life. But rather than that, we should try to add life to the years. Live the life meaningfully. Live the life purposefully. Not degrade yourself in all the materialistic way of life, in materialistic activities, but rather engage in Krishna conscious activities. Live the life with a purpose. And the life which is centered about ourselves, thinking about me, my, that's a very selfish life. But we should learn to live a selfless life. One can earn their livelihood. One can earn their livelihood. But the real life is in giving. Giving our time to others. Sharing that knowledge with others. Giving that Krishna consciousness to others. Bringing others also closer to the Lord. If we think ourselves that, oh, I am sitting comfortably at home, I am doing my chanting, I am doing my hearing, I am doing my reading, I am doing my sadhana. That's also my, right? I want to have my comfortable Krishna conscious life. So it should not be about our self-centered life, that I want to do my sadhana peacefully. Sometimes we have to go out of our comfort zone to give to others. So real life is in giving. We may have to sometimes be uncomfortable, but that feeling of uncomfort is good in service of Krishna. Unless you feel uncomfortable in service of Krishna, we are not making progress. Let me tell you that. Right? If it is always about that, okay, yes, I did my chanting, I am doing this 4 round or 8 round, yes, I am done with my chanting, I did my this thing or that thing. We are not really making progress until we come to the stage of living for giving. So Manu is living a very comfortable life, no doubt, but he did not degrade himself. He is living in a very Krishna conscious way. And the last statement here, last verses, Manu had a long duration of life, but it did not go in vain. The life of a man in Krishna consciousness is always fresh. It is said that the sun rises in the morning and sets in the evening, and its business is to reduce the duration of everyone's life. But the sunrise and sunset cannot diminish the life of one who engages in Krishna consciousness. Manu's life did not become stale after some time, for he engaged himself always in chanting about and meditating upon the Supreme Lord. He was the greatest yogi because he never wasted his time. So, for somebody who has completely taken the shelter of the Supreme Lord in devotional service, how can he be put into miseries pertaining to the body, the mind, and the nature? So generally we all have threefold misery. Everybody goes to the threefold miseries. What are these threefold miseries?
Adi Atmik Kalesh, Adi Bhautik Kalesh, Adi Devi Kalesh.
Adi Atmik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik. So by now everybody knows these terms, right? Adi Atmik, because of our own body and mind. Adi Bhautik, because of other living entities. Adi Devik, because of the
Nature.
higher nature, natural calamities. Nobody can escape these miseries. Problem because of our own body and mind come. Our body gives problem. As we start to age, body will give so many problem. So these threefold miseries come for everybody. But here it says somebody who has taken shelter of the Lord, how can these miseries pertaining to the body, mind and nature, how they can trouble that person? So how to understand that? If somebody becomes a bhakta, if somebody becomes a devotee, will he not grow old?
Yes, you-
He will grow old, right? So still the problem of body and mind will be there. He also has to die. It's not that somebody becomes a devotee, he becomes immortal. So he also have to die. And he also have to face the natural calamities. Sometimes it's too much rain, sometimes too much snow and all that. So what does it really mean that somebody who has taken shelter of the Supreme Lord, all these miseries pertaining to the body, mind, nature, and because of the other living entities does not take place?
His consciousness is more, and then these are temporarily will be
Yes. So the point to understand is when somebody is practicing spiritual life, somebody has taken shelter of the Supreme Lord, he also will go through these problems, but he becomes immune to these problems in the sense these does not bother him. He gets the immunity system stronger to handle these problems. Right? He does not become disturbed by these, knowing very well that this is all happening because of my previous prarabdha, the previous karma, and my goal is now to cut down the cycle of birth and death and go back to the Supreme Lord. So his focus remain on that goal. So that's why these problems of the body, minds, the nature and the other living entity do not bother that person, trouble that person. The example we have given earlier, if you remember, as fan, right? Fan is rotating. If you turn off that fan, it's not that the fan immediately will come to full stop. When you switch off the fan will still be going on for some time. Then it will become slower and slower and then finally it stops. So same way, when we start taking to the process of Krishna consciousness, our miseries pertaining to the body, mind and all these things are getting slower and slower, getting lower and lower, and finally it stops. Otherwise, if somebody has not taken to the process of Krishna consciousness, they have not even recognized their disease and they have not started taking treatment. But somebody who has taken to Krishna consciousness, at least they have now recognized their disease. They have started taking the medicine, taking care, and eventually their disease will be cured. Means no more birth, no more death. Otherwise, there is punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. So, the lesson from the life of Svayambhu Manu, what we see here, he had a long duration of life, which is like the 7 out of 14 manvantra, one Manu, right? One Manu. How long the life of one Manu is? In the one day of Brahma, there are 1000 cycle of 4 yugas. 1000 cycle of 4 yugas. So basically, 14 manvantra is equal to 1000 cycle of 4 yuga. So one manvantra, the duration of one Manu is equal to 1000 divided by 14. So almost like 72 cycles of 4 yugas. 4 yugas, Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga. So that is one cycle of these 4 yugas. When these 4 yugas pass 72 times, That is the life of one Manu. So Svayambhu Manu also has that big duration of life, but he engaged his life in a Krishna conscious way, not degrading himself in just enjoying in a material way. So for us also, we should learn how to spend, how to utilize our time. A biggest excuse people give for not taking to Krishna consciousness. What is the biggest excuse?
Living all material things and then only
Okay,
focusing
so
on this.
living all material things. Greedy, okay. So living all material things, how can we give up all that? So nobody is asking to give up you on first day. Right? We did. You all started coming here. How many of you heard that first day you have to give up everything, shave your head and settle in temple? Did anybody tell you that? So that is not the reason. So first biggest excuse people give is we don't have time. That is the biggest excuse people give. Oh, we don't have time. We are too busy. We have family, we have job, we have mortgage to pay, we have all these various things to take care of. We are too busy. We have kids' activities and all that. We don't have time. So that is the biggest excuse people give. But it's not about making time. It's about managing your time. Right? It's not about having time. It's about making time. When you understand the priorities, the important thing of life, then you will make time for that. If today you have emergency, some emergency, family emergency came, will you tell your boss that I have an emergency at home, I need to go immediately? Will you make time for that? Will you make time to handle that emergency or not? That was not a planned activity, but you have to still make time for that. So same way, we need to make time for spiritual life, understanding it as the highest priority. Arjuna was also very busy. Arjuna was a householder. He was like the ruler in one sense. He has so much burden to manage all the warfare. Still, he made time to hear the message of Bhagavad Gita. So, one excuse which people give, I do not have time, is a very lame excuse, because right now they are not understanding the importance of it. The people focus on what and how, but they don't focus on why. If you understand why, then what and how will come automatically. How will I figure out time? When they know the importance of why. So we should not ask how. Right? How will I do this? Why should I do this? That's more important. When you know why, everything else will fall in place. Second excuse people give, or many times, that's bigger problem with Indians actually. I will tell you frankly. Most of the Indians, when we start in the process, that baggage is there. Sometimes we think, I know. I already know. We talk about Krishna. Yeah, I know. I know about Krishna. Krishna to mera langotiya yaar hai. People treat it like that. I know about Krishna. Tell somebody, take Bhagavad Gita. Oh yeah, I know Bhagavad Gita. I have Bhagavad Gita. So people already think we already know a lot. Even though inside we are hollow, we don't know anything. But we think we know a lot. So that is another reason why people are not able to take to the process of spiritual life with so much determination, because of that conditioning, that baggage that I know. So we need to give importance to spiritual life, making time for this most important priority. When we come, we should come empty. If we go completely filled, there is no place to put something more, pour something more in that. Right? But if you come empty, then you have a lot of things to put new stuff inside. So, and then chanting, importance of chanting. We talk about chanting so much. chanting is the most important activity for our spiritual progress. Day we realize this thing, then only we'll become serious about chanting. If we are not taken to the process of chanting, it means we have not understood the importance of chanting yet. How many of us are chanting regularly? Chanting regularly, at least 2 mala. How many of you are doing at least 2 mala every day? 1 mala? At least 1 mala every day. So 1 mala, 2 mala, 4 mala, 8. So when I come to higher number, the lower numbers can still, you can raise hand for lower numbers also if you are doing higher number. So those can keep raising hand, other can put down, right? So 4, 8, 16. Okay. So the reason is because we are not understanding the importance of chanting. We talk about chanting so much. Prabhupada said 99% of our spiritual progress depends on chanting. And I have heard people, devotees who were earlier chanting 16 rounds, somehow they drop down to 8, to 4. They reduce. They are not able to maintain that, or they are not maintaining that. Why? Because we are not understanding the importance. We are not maintaining that same level of enthusiasm. I know devotees who are joining in morning japa, sometimes they don't join anymore because we are not understanding the importance of chanting. Chanting is the most important of all our spiritual activities for our progress. I will tell you one thing very frankly, we can do all other services, that's very nice. But ultimately, unless we develop taste in chanting, unless we develop the taste in holy name, we cannot make that progress. For example, if somebody is very interested in cooking, right? I want to cook for Krishna. You go and cook for Krishna 4 hours, 5 hours, you are standing in kitchen and cooking. But then there will be a phase in life when there is no more ability. You cannot stand that longer in kitchen. You don't have that ability to stand in the kitchen and for 4 hours, 5 hours on your foot and cooking. And when you are not able to do that, then you feel that vacuum in your life, that emptiness. I'm not able to do this service because we have not developed our taste in chanting. We are not able to engage in chanting. It's not that I will sit down in the corner and I will do chanting all time. So if we have not developed the taste in chanting, we'll start feeling that vacuum. Somebody may be very good in any other activity, any other service. Somebody is interested in playing mridanga. Now, can somebody keep playing mridanga all life? Their physical ability will go down. But if we don't have developed the taste for chanting, again, that vacuum, that emptiness comes in. Somebody is good in preaching. That, oh, I can speak for hours and hours to give about Krishna consciousness to others. I can recite shlokas, I can quote shlokas left and right. Again, how long can somebody keep doing? How long can I keep doing? How long will I remember? Eventually, as we age, this ability will go away. We don't have that memory power left to remember shlokas. We are not able to speak much. And if we don't have developed that taste for the holy name, again that vacuum, that emptiness is there. So no matter what other activities, spiritual activities we are doing, other services we are doing, chanting is most important because that's the one thing which will remain with you. If you develop taste for chanting, then no matter what the situation is, no matter tomorrow temple is there or not, no matter you have other things or not, you can sit in your room, you can sit in corner and you can chant Hare Krishna and still feel that connection with Krishna, that relationship with Krishna. So the chanting is the most important activity, and my humble and sincerest request to everybody, please take to this process of chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And be very consistent in your chanting. Not that today 2, tomorrow 4, again the next day 2 or 1. Because it's your commitment to Krishna. You have given your words, your vow to Krishna that I'm going to take to this chanting. I'm going to spend half an hour for you chanting your holy name. So maintain that. Not that 4 to 1 or 16 to 8 or 16 to 4. Why this up and down is going on first of all? For two reasons. Material attraction and offenses towards the devotees. If we are maintaining those material attractions, material desires to enjoy, that is one reason why our chanting goes up and down, up and down. We make progress, again we fall back. Second thing is offenses towards the devotees. If we commit offenses towards the devotees, we fall back in our chanting. We are not able to maintain that same level of enthusiasm in our chanting. So please be very careful in these two things. Maintain your promise towards Krishna and maintain that enthusiasm. And be very careful not to commit offenses to the devotees. ठीक ग्रंथा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय.